the zombie gone? Hey, don't be ridiculous. Her name is Bonbon. But yeah, she's gone. Did she bite you?
No, just a bruise.
That looked like what happened to Cadence, right? Maybe she was just on some serious drugs. Do you seriously think that this is a coincidence?
Shouldn't we have tried to take her to Ponyville General?
Rarity, she was barely phased by me full-on kicking her in the face. She was absolutely feral. Do you really think that we could actually wrangle her to the ER? Couldn't Twilight have used her magic to carry her?
I could have, but the journey from the doorstep to the castle feels like a blur. It's like my body was moving before my mind had a moment to process it.
Shock will do that to you, Sugar Cube. But we can't just leave her outside like that, especially after Rainbow Dash injured her.
Did I, though? She was okay enough to walk away, wasn't she? And she had chewed her own lips off. That did not seem to bother her. All my kick seemed to do was keep her dazed for a moment before she got back up and started towards us again. Guys.
Well, whatever's happening, it clearly ain't stopping at violent neighbors. I'm gonna go find my family before we figure the rest out. I'll be back in a second.
Wait, Applejack.
I second that. If there's a situation going on here as well as the Crystal Empire, I better go make sure that Scout is safe with an adult.
I should probably find Sweetie Belle. If there are violent ponies around, I'd like to know of her whereabouts too. Rarity, girls, wait, Rainbow Dash. I understand that, but before we split up, can we please discuss this? There's too much going on right now to handle without a plan.
How come Applejack is allowed to leave?
Because I trust that she'll come back when she says she will. I'm not telling you not to go, but we need to talk about how dire this is. We don't know anything about the situation outside, and we should figure out why those sirens are going and what was going on with Bonbon so we can take the right precautions, especially because of the likelihood of this being related to what happened to Cadence. Discord's magic is unpredictable. We don't know if it's dangerous outside and if we stick together.
Twilight, listen. I know you're going to turn this into a thing regardless, but you're right. What happened to the pony outside was disturbing. We don't know why the sirens are going, and it is probably related to Discord, but I don't care to find out before I know that Scoot is okay.
Rainbow Dash.
We really should be aware of each other's whereabouts. Fluttershy, you didn't see the state of the pony outside. If you did, you'd be as concerned as I am. You'd do the same thing if Spike wasn't safe and sound in the castle.
It'd be no use in trying to find him at all if I was going to be attacked violently by some crazy pony the second I stepped hoof outside. We need to discuss this.
What is there to discuss? You may be a princess, but you're not in charge of every action we make. I'm not having this conversation right now. I'll be back within the hour. The plan was to head back to the Crystal Empire tomorrow if we don't hear from Celestia, right? If we actually do get separated, I'll meet you there. But this is Ponyville, and that's not going to happen. So much for your improvement of not freaking out every time something happens.
Journal entry number 2. Princess Twilight Sparkle. After Applejack and Rainbow Dash left, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Rarity, and I left the castle too to check on our own loved ones. We didn't make it very far. Ponies were in complete and utter panic. They were everywhere. Local faces we recognized, some void of any life or emotion, gaunt, trying to sink their teeth into any pony they saw. And some who didn't seem to be afflicted with whatever disease or spell had found its way quickly to Ponyville. As much as the 4 of us yelled and pulled ponies off of each other, there was just too much going on to fight while also trying to defend ourselves. Returning to the castle, I made Pinkie Pie and Rarity stay put with Spike while Fluttershy and I did flyovers of Ponyville, focusing on Sweet Apple Acres and her cottage. No sign of the Apple siblings, Starlight Glimmer, or Rainbow Dash, but we did manage to find Sweetie Belle to Rarity's relief. Neither Fluttershy or I have the heart to tell Pinkie Pie that Mr. and Mrs. Cake were both amongst the infected, and there was no sign of the Cake twins. We collected as many of Fluttershy's animal friends as we could find, and picked up any unafflicted survivors in the streets. They say that the infection, or whatever it is spread by direct contact with the bloodstream, i.e., bites. Luckily for us, though, no pony we picked up got bitten. One of the ponies we rescued happens to be a student from our school, and she said that Starlight Glimmer had had the school evacuated when the sirens went off, but the infection hadn't appeared to have reached the school yet, which gives me hope for Starlight and the students. We geared up and prepared for our journey overnight. We still haven't heard from Celestia, but more disturbingly, the sun hasn't moved since mid-sunrise. It's been mid-sunrise for 3 hours. We're leaving for the Crystal Empire now, and we don't have time to wait for Applejack and Rainbow Dash. It breaks my heart to leave without them, but they know where we're headed. Pinkie Pie is leaving them a note on the door, in hopes that if they return to the castle, they'll see it.